If you watch this channel, you know there are few things that truly annoy me. But one of the main things that annoys me is the current state of new builds in the UK. They're terrible. They're diabolical. I mean, some are all right. I saw some nice ones recently. They were in like Georgian style, really nice. But the vast majority of new builds in the UK just seem to be completely phoned in by the developers. Like, they just don't care. They're just trying to get the houses built as cheaply as possible, and it doesn't matter how poor quality they are. So I found a TikTok account that is right on my street. It's called Home Snag. They're like a property surveying company, and they also do this thing called snagging. Now, what is snagging, you asked? I just had to look this up myself. A snagging company specializes in inspecting new build properties for defects and issues before the final handover to the buyer. And these videos basically just show everything wrong with the properties they're called out to snag. And it is absolutely eye-opening how bad some of these properties are.
Let's check out the quality.
First up, they've not installed the gallows bracket straight, and they've not even secured the canopy to them.
They haven't even been asked to secure that. It just comes right off. Oh, man, I hate new build developers. Oh, why are they so bad? Why are they all so bad?
The window frames have been quite badly damaged. The screed has failed to the garage. The grass was dying due to having rocks under the turf instead of top.
And this is before the handover. This is before it's even had an owner. They've got damaged windows before the property's even had anyone live in it. That's mental.
The screed has failed to the garage. The grass was dying due to having rocks under the turf.
The grass is dying. The grass is fucking dying. No one's lived there yet. No one's stepped foot on this grass and it's dying.
And this was the case in the whole of the back garden. And it wasn't surviving the front end.
Oh, that is terrible. What, is that a normal thing to build a lawn on top of just rock? Just loads of little rocks? I don't know much about lawns, but this seems weird to build it on top of just a load of rocks.
Inside, there was excessive mold growth under the kitchen units, and the musty smell was obvious walking in.
It's not even had someone live in it, and there's already mold. Fucking hell.
Another familiar sight for us is rubbish left under the bath.
The builders have just left Lucozade bottles under the bath. That is insane. That's insane behaviour. Mate, there needs to be some kind of real quality control on these houses, because this is dreadful. It's the first thing I'd do as Prime Minister, tighten quality control on new build homes. Because, like, I scrolled through a few of these just looking at this account, and this isn't even one of the worst ones. This is probably actually one of the better ones I've seen on this account.
Well, the staircase spindles weren't installed straight, which is something that...
What do these builders do for a living? They can't install banisters straight. Are they part-timers? Like, what's going on?
And I wouldn't fancy walking over to the patio door in bare feet, as the timber was as rough as sandpaper all along.
There is no way qualified builders built this house.
Fasten your seatbelts, we're snagging a persimmon new
Who
build.
designs these houses? Whoever designs these houses, I was about to say should be shot, but I think that's a bit dramatic. I just don't think they should ever be allowed to design houses again.
The workmanship to the garage was just non-existent, as the brickwork and the garage door wasn't installed straight.
Jesus.
And they didn't even bother installing a downpipe properly. And there's several broken roof tiles above they should have replaced before
This is a new house. I know I've said it probably about 5 times already, but these are new houses. Man, imagine like buying a property off plan. Like, you know, they've sold you the dream, because they always do. They always do, the estate agents, the scum. They always sell you the dream. They sell you the dream, and then you turn up and this is your gaff. The tiles on the roof are already fucking cracked and you've not even moved in yet. There's mold on the floors. The roof of the porch comes off.
It gets worse inside the garage, as they've not even bothered fixing any of the straps on the walls.
What is the point of these builders if they haven't even fucking actually finished off building the house? This is an incomplete house.
And seeing how crooked the piers are was just the start of realising the trades on this side clearly don't use a level for anything. This is an example of what the brickwork elevations look like.
That's so bad. Oh my god, look how wonky it is. Mate, something needs to be done about the quality of some of these new builds.
They've repointed around the window, which just stands out like a sore thumb. There's large chunks of render missing, which is at the front elevation, so it's the first thing you see when you turn up. In the garden, there's a crack that's running right down the boundary wall, and the soil is just full of stones and building debris.
I can't get over this. This is supposed to be a new gap, and there's already a fucking massive crack down the side of the house. That's ridiculous. That's fucking surely this house isn't fit for purpose.
In the bathroom, the sink wasn't level, but needs a new one anyway, as they broke it fixing it to the wall.
They broke the sink fixing it to the wall, man. Oh, mate, if I bought this place, I would refuse it. Like, if I put down a deposit on this, and the scum estate agent came up to me and went, oh, you know, you go for your new house. Look at your new house. It's beautiful, isn't it? And the sink was fucking broken while installing it. I'd refuse it. nothing boils my piss more than this. It's just absolute liberties, because houses are going to be the biggest purchase you ever make in your life. So you need to make sure it's right. And these people just sell absolute shit that isn't going to stand the test of time. Stuff that when you go in is broken. Oh, it just annoys me so much.
Finally, to the stairs, you'll need some steel toe cap boots walking up, as with nails
Mate, I'm heated. You shouldn't go into your new build house and fear catching tetanus. It's a disgrace. Honestly, it's an absolute disgrace. I'm so angry. I don't know why I get so angry about these things. I'm not moving into these houses, but it's just like the fucking injustice of it. And no doubt the person will probably refuse this house, but it's the fact that they put a deposit down, they've went out and got a mortgage, they've waited, probably a year or two to move into the house, and they turn up and it's just like as if a 5-year-old put the house together.
And the finish to the walls around the stairs was just as painful.
Shit, man, that's bad. That's so bad. And it looks like a mild breeze would push it over as well. Terrible, absolutely terrible stuff.
This house completed today, and instead of a ribbon on the front door, we're greeted with rubbish all over the front door.
What the fuck? What is wrong with these? What did the developers put this there, or is this just people littering on the front lawn? I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt and say it was like just people walking by chucking shit on the lawn. Say no one's there.
The roofer has left nails in the gutters.
The ridge towel union clips weren't secure.
There's damaged bricks and blocked wheat vents around the front door, and there wasn't any visual signs they've installed a double damp-proof course.
I'm not even going to pretend I know about anything he just talked about in the last 10 seconds.
It's been the case with most of the Taylor Wimpey houses we've inspected recently that the kitchen is rife with mould under the units.
That's disgusting.
And in this kitchen, they didn't even install the unit legs properly.
Dreadful.
Several radiators weren't filling, the bedroom flooring wasn't level, so the doors are catching, and as usual, the spindles weren't clogged.
That's terrible. I mean, this one was a bit better than the last one, but still, it's unacceptable, innit?
We're at a new build by Harron Homes. These homeowners have been in for a year and have got major issues with mould in the bathroom, which has just been dismissed.
That's after a year.
We're snagging a penthouse apartment pre-completion in London, where you pay a premium to look out of a window to see treetops. And yet this builder's boarded over the window from the inside and built the kitchen units over it.
That is so new build developer. Get a nice plot of land overlooking nice, beautiful nature and just fucking whack a white wall there.
The front door doesn't have a spyglass or video intercom to allow the homeowners to check who is outside.
I feel as though that is needed, but I feel as though in the grand scheme of things, this one's a nitpick.
We're snagging a Barrett's new build, and this site gets average marks from us.
That actually looks like quite a nice new build house. Like the design of that is pretty nice. I quite like that. It definitely beats. Where's the other one? It definitely beats this, like by a lot.
There's nails and roof tile debris in the gutters. They're also short and lean away from the downpipes. Ground levels were too high around it.
In the grand scheme of things, this is a lot better than the stuff we've previously seen. This one isn't so bad.
Bath hot water temperature was too high, and the bathroom floor was...
Yeah, but bath hot water temperature is too high. Surely you just turn on the cold water there.
You couldn't close the patio doors, so they'll need adjusting.
Whoa, okay, that's a big issue. You can't close the patio door.
You couldn't close the patio doors, so they'll need adjusting.
Yeah, that's bad. That's a pretty glaring error, not being able to lock the back door.
We're snagging a Taylor Wimpey new build pre-completion.
State of that. Look at that. I mean, surely they can come up with a nicer design than whatever this is. So I don't mind the shape of the house. I quite like, the thin, tall houses. But why didn't they just go with brick all around? Why have they gone with like this two-tone house? I just don't get it. I don't like it.
Let's dive straight in with water that's backing up around the kitchen waste pipe.
No, fucking hell, that's disgusting.
Isn't working, and with there being a lack of ventilation in here, there's mold settling on the walls. In the hallway, the first thing you notice walking in is the bowed walls.
Because I've heard this Taylor Wimpey name be brought up quite a lot. How have they not been, sued into oblivion? How are they still even in business? How are people turning up at these houses and going, yeah, I'm going to pay full price for this house, and not just fucking off and going, no, there's mould everywhere. I haven't even moved in yet.
The joiner must have also misplaced his spirit level, and Taylor Wonky were living up to their nickname with the outlet.
They're so off. How would you fuck that up so badly? Who is this Taylor Wimpey company? Because they seem to be the biggest culprit here from what I've seen so far. I don't know, they seem to have a pretty good Trustpilot review. I don't know, everything, this is really bad. This is really bad.
Outside, the air bricks are too low, and so is the damp-proof course. There's an unconnected earth cable in the meter box.
Shit! That's bad. Yeah, that's bad. That's real bad.
And the garden was too steep to expect the owner to maintain safely.
Garden too steep. Christ.
A good indicator to check the quality of brickwork is to look up the gable wall, and sure enough, it did set the precedent.
Whoa, okay, that is so wonky. Look at that again. Wait, just from this perspective, Look at how wonky that is. Not to mention, like, some of the bricks are sticking out more than others. That's so wonky. That looks so bad.
Brickwork at the damp-proof course was overhanging that much it was casting a shadow.
Whoa. Okay, that doesn't seem safe. I mean, I don't know much about building. I'm not a builder. But to me, that doesn't look all that safe.
And true to form, it was out of plumb by about 20 millimeters.
Whoa,
so this
there
wall will need rebuilding.
That's dreadful. That is absolutely dreadful.
The garden was full of stones and rubble. There were even boxes of nails and wall ties thrown in for good measure.
Fucking hell.
Inside,
imagine like going out to your beautiful new garden. Oh, this house isn't even finished being built yet. I guess that's maybe why there's nails there. But imagine getting a nice new house and going into your garden. There's just fucking nails in the earth. Terrible.
But a cracked window pane
How?
in the bedroom. In the loft.
How have you got a cracked window pane already?
Doors catching on the frame in new builds is pretty common due to the settlement process, but there were several doors in this house that weren't closing at all. There were some good areas like the insulation in the loft.
I don't know, I feel as though regardless of a settlement process, you should be able to close the fucking door. But imagine moving into a new house and they're like, okay, just give the doors a month and then you'll be able to close them.
We're snagging a David Wilson's house
Ooh,
today.
that looks quite
who tend
nice.
to be the better end of quality.
Okay, I'm
with
not
new
a fan of
builds.
that shape. Not a fan of that shape. I was expecting it to be a bit nicer based on that, but that's nice. That looks really nice.
There's stones and rubble visible in the turf, which is the reason why a lot of
that's
new build
ugly.
lawn.
That is ugly.
The garage gutters haven't been connected properly.
My day, they haven't been. That's the bare minimum. That most of these things are the bare minimum. Not having a mouldy house is the bare minimum. Connecting the gutters is the bare minimum. Why are they not doing this?
It's not the best first impression when your front door won't close, but what's more worrying is they
Wait,
mismeasured
the front door won't fucking close.
keep moving.
Yeah, that's a pretty glaring issue.
What's even more worrying is the soil pipe appears to be leaking, so as well as ripping out and redoing the floor, they also need to rip out the walls, and the customer's only just moved in a few hours ago.
Oh, they've moved in. They've accepted the house. Oh, man, I feel so bad for them. I feel so bad for them. Shit. Can they get a refund? Is this on the homeowner now? Surely they have, like, some kind of warranty. Surely they have some kind of warranty that means they don't have to pay to have the wall replaced and everything.
The damp-proof course here doesn't step up or have a double damp-proof installed, and the landscaper is
This just shows one of the most important things you can pay for. It's a bit expensive, but it just shows one of the most important things you can pay for before buying a property is a surveyor. You need to get, this is boring George memeulous lesson, you need to get a surveyor before you buy a house, because if something's fucked, you're fucked. And you're going to end up paying a lot more than like a few £100 to like maybe £1,000 or £2 for a surveyor.
Hey guys, we're back again to share some new build snagging, this time with apartments. First up, you can imagine the gale that will come through the gap in this patio door, and this is from a high specification.
The patio's just open. It's just open. No way. No way they've gone and sold this.
You know you're in for a long day as a professional snagger when you run the shower and the water comes from the
That's
small
terrible.
line. There's a massive crack across the window of this apartment in London, which isn't going to be easy for the developer to replace, and the customers move in a few days.
Jeez. Oh. I feel so bad. Imagine you spend, because did you say this is in London? But either way, imagine spending all that money on a property, or even if like you're just renting it, and you move in, there's a big crack across the glass, and there's water coming from the light socket, and you can't close the patio door.
Let's hope the owners of this apartment prefer to sleep in a cold bedroom, as the only form of heating in here was a small electric heater all the way over near the kitchen.
What? There's no radiators or anything? That's shocking.
Just by walking around in these apartments in Manchester, you could tell the floors were massively out of level. And every other apartment we snagged on this development was exactly the same.
That's terrible.
We've got shower rails not fixed properly.
Oh man, it's so lazy. It's just so fucking lazy. I can't bear it.
And finally, hot water pipes that shake so loudly.
Whoa.
Think you're banging
To
on
be
the
fair,
wall.
I used to have taps that would do that. Whenever I turned on the hot water, it would rumble really loudly. Yeah, it's so annoying. Terrible. Right, I'm going to leave it there for this video. Keir Starmer, if you're watching this, you need to do something about this. You need to do something about the poor quality of a lot of new builds that are going up. Like and subscribe or I'll banish you to this mold-ridden house.